I've been wanting to do a video just kind of showing off the very like basics of FL Studio for like a minute, because I'm very passionate about this musical video game that, you know, it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. I just love music in general, and I'm sure, like, I know there's so many new producers that are just, you know, just got FL or something, got it for Christmas or some shit, and or like their dad has it on their computer and the kid wants to like fucking fuck around and doesn't know how to use it. This is a very like super basic run through of FL Studio 2024. So you're gonna open FL and it's gonna look pretty much like this. I had a thing, I was gonna say, I don't know where that went. I don't know if I clicked on it or what, but you're probably not gonna have this. This is just like a thing that I added, so don't worry about that. It's literally just this, but like bigger. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best not to like really overcomplicate things, because things will tend to get pretty complicated. So you may have opened it up, whether you have like the demo version or the full version or whatever. It's smart to, like, even if you are watching this and you haven't even got FL yet, start with the demo. Maybe even try out like other DAWs alongside FL. I mean, like, me personally, I love FL Studio a lot, and I've tried a couple other ones, like nothing. I never really tried like Ableton or Pro Tools, or I think Pro Tools is just like for recording. But yeah, see if you actually enjoy this, because it's a big investment. Like I think the base version is like $100, a big investment for a lot of people. Yeah, regular version's like $100. The one that I have, which is the producer version, which you get like extra plugins, you get the ability to record, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you had that before, but this one's $300. So really do your research, you know, make sure you like it. I was on the demo version for like a whole year, and I would like make beats and then export them, and you can't save on the demo version. But anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping. This is, you know, this is what's called the playlist right here, and you can toggle it on and off with this button. The playlist is basically where like you actually put the song together. On your left right here, you'll see probably the most important thing, or like one of the more important things, where this is where you're gonna be able to access like the majority of your sounds. This pack, I'm pretty sure it comes with FL Studio. Yeah, this comes with when you get FL Studio 2024. Oh my god. Yeah, it should be in the demo too, but this is an example. You can use pretty much wherever you want. But the main idea for the playlist is like, you have a sound here, and then what the fuck, oh my god, it was longer so you can actually see it. So you have your bank of sounds that you selected, and you kind of just piece it all together here, but I'm gonna worry about that later. So I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure like when it'll ask you to choose a template when you start a new project. I have that turned off because I just always have it defaulted to like to this 808 kick, or yeah, 808 template, which used to just be like these four, and then this was never there. I literally never use this at all. It's just kind of like in the way. I don't know why they do that, but templates doesn't really matter. Where are they? If you're gonna start with anyone, I would personally recommend the basic 808 with limiter, which it just has a limiter on here on the master, which like really doesn't change much. I don't, because it's just in a default setting, but this is what I would recommend, or no template at all, because it gets a little too complicated. Like they add like the delay, even in minimal, it's like they add delay and reverb to the master or something. It's stupid. Anyway, so you'll have a template, preferably this one, because it's a good example. Like it's good for it starts you out with probably some of the better sounds that are defaulted. Like sometimes I'll actually use some of these in some of the beats that I make, like this 808 snare sounds sick sometimes, and the hi-hat, I don't know about that, but yeah. But yeah, this is your channel rack, aka it's just kind of like a drum or any sound sequencer. So I want to explain this a little bit. Basically, you might be thinking like, what is this for? What it basically is you have all your sounds in here, and if you want to add new ones or change any of them, like for example, I don't like this hi-hat, maybe I want this one, you just click and drag, fill the spot. If you want to add a new one, these are all hi-hats. Let's add this cloud. If you want to add a new one, just in any like in between spot, you can just place a sound right there, and there you go. Then you have a new sound, and what you're gonna want to do is how beats are usually made. Some people do it differently, but this is just how I do it. You're gonna want to put like actually sequence each drum thing together, which is very like, it's, I don't know, it looks weird to a lot of people, but it's really not nothing too crazy. But when you have all these sounds together, you can start messing around with this, and this like there you go. Now you have nice little hi-hat thing, and then there you go. Now you have a little club, and then there you go. Now you have a little drum pattern that you can use in your beat. So now you're probably like, so I have it, but like how do you put it in the song? So this is your patterns right here in your bank of sounds. Sounds a lot more grandiose than what it is, the bank of sounds. But right here you have your pattern that you just made, and what you're gonna want to do is you can either click and drag, or you can just click it and then press on anywhere in the playlist, like here, whatever. And now it's like most of this stuff, it's kind of like painting a picture, like you're drawing all these notes in and you're making a sound, and then you're arranging everything together and putting it together into one package into the song. So now you're gonna default to, there's two things right here. There's pattern mode and song mode, and pattern mode is gonna let you play whatever pattern is selected, which I don't know, I'm gonna put a symbol here for example. It might be a little loud. See how it's only playing this? You switch it to song mode, still pretty fucking loud. Holy shit. Now it's gonna play whatever's on the playlist, like anywhere. So there you go. Now you have a cymbal and a short little drum clip that you can use. And next little pro tip is one of, like, really it's not necessary right away. It's just, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, but there's so many fucking things. If you right click on here, you can rename and color your pattern that you just made. You can call it drums. And then right here, you can select a color. And really all this does is just help with like organizing the track. We got red, boom. Yeah. Pretty cool. Honestly, like, you don't really need it at all. Like, you can still make an amazing, life-changing song without like doing this, but it's just good for organization. You can also do the same for any sound here, which these are patterns, these are audio clips. So any of these that you just drag and drop will go in there. Now we want to make a melody to go with this cute little drum clip that we got and our cymbal hit right there. So what we're gonna do is press right here, this plus sign right next to your little drum clip name thing. Click on that, and then you get another pattern. So that's, now you have two patterns. And we're gonna name this melody, give it a purple color, because why not? Why not? You know. Then we're gonna open up the channel rack, and because you have a little audio clip in here, you're gonna be like, where the fuck is all my drums at? And you're gonna like fuck around with it. The drums are in here. You just click on it'll audio and unsorted. Unsorted is just the things that you put in the channel rack to use. And then I usually just choose all, so it'll show your audio clips that you put in there, and then your drums as well. So honestly, I mean, you can keep the flex bass in there if you really want to. I personally never use it. Like, I usually just like if you ever see me like making beats, my first, like, one of the first things I do is go in here and right click delete on that. It used to not be a thing, but now it is, and it kind of pisses me off, I'm not gonna lie. So next lesson on making a melody. So there's multiple ways you could do this. Not a lot of people do what I do, which is kind of funny because I feel like it's the most like easiest and most logical thing to do, because I think a lot of people who used older versions of FL, like, I don't think they had this. But here up top, this is open plugin picker. This looks like an insane amount of shit, and it kind of is, but not compared to like some other producers that I've seen. Basically, on my laptop, when I got FL for the first time, I opened this up and there was like nothing in here. So sometimes it just defaults to having like all of your plugins in this spot, which is my favorite way to go about this. You probably don't even know what a plugin is yet. This is where it gets like, where it really got complicated for me, because you're not gonna, like, when you first start with FL, I would recommend like using samples and stuff and playing around with the drums first and then getting into melodies. But I just kind of want to show like how it works. It's also just fun to play around with. Like, it took me such a long time to really get, like, I would say decent at making melodies. But for like the longest time, I would use like just free loops online, and they would tell you the BPM and all that, which I can show you how to do that as well. But yeah, if there's nothing in there, go to options at this little top thing right here, go down to manage plugins and click on it, and you'll see you might already have all of your plugins just right here, which technically you can go in here and you can, oh wait, you can't actually, I was gonna say you could select your plugins. I didn't realize that this can go on my other monitor. What the fuck? Yeah, so in here it'll show you all the plugins that you have, and then if you want to use this, which I personally recommend for like beginners, it's a lot easier. Go to type in flex, and then if it's not already in your selector, press the star, go to GMS, press the star, and then also I don't know if Citrus comes with every FO, but if you have Citrus, like definitely star this one. I'm trying to think of like what other plugins that are really good that come with it. Honestly, those three are probably the best to start with. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I never really learned how to make all the plugins like show up like this. Like I only have the plugins that came with FL that show up like this. So, oh, also Kepler, this one's really good, should also be free. Yeah, but a lot of these are like trial versions, so you can't use them basically like in a song. But my favorite plugin is Citrus. I don't know if everyone's FL comes with Citrus, but I'll just give a little rundown. We'll do GMS, but like it's pretty much all the same, like how these work. Basically, you have your plugin, and then it shows up here as like an audio thing, just like these. Then it's basically like a whole program within itself. Like plugins are just software that facilitate all these knobs and switches. It's like having a virtual synthesizer basically, and you have all these things to fuck around with, which make it look a little confusing because you're like, I don't know what any of this shit means whatsoever. Actually, this is one of the more simple ones, but I guess there's less complicated ones, but this one's pretty simple. Basically, to start out, I'd recommend like don't even worry about any of these knobs at all. Every plugin will have a different database of different sounds that you can use, and most of them just so happen to have like hundreds of fucking sounds in them, like so many. But yeah, this one just so happens to be right here. Don't worry about anything else but this. And then click here. And then you're gonna see a little menu that comes up. And these are all your preset sounds. Also, by the way, I have a keyboard that hooks up to my computer that lets me like play like that right next to me. But you can also right here, you can press this, and you could probably, you can't hear my keyboard probably, but your like actual computer keyboard you can use as for the piano notes. But honestly, you don't need these fancy. Hold on, let me see if I can. One of these fancy schmancy. This little Lesis V Mini. You don't really need one of these at all. There's a lot of producers that like Hit Girl and actually I don't know, she might have keyboards like this too. But there's a lot of people who just like, maybe if you have a laptop and you're just kind of like on the go, you're not gonna have the luxury of like a cool MIDI keyboard to like fuck around with knobs and stuff. Anyway, I keep getting off topic, but like you don't really need it at all to like do the same shit. It's just kind of like an added thing that I bought because it's just like, it's fire. I would recommend it though, I'm not gonna lie, they're fun to fuck around with. And it will draw a lot of inspiration for your melodies. So just scrolling through, you can use your keyboard, just kind of play around, see what you like. I'm just warning you now, or all of y'all, that I'm gonna be honest, like this example beat is probably gonna be terrible, but it's an example. I'll give you guys a better example like after I'm done here. But let's just say I like this sound. It's alright, I guess. Actually, I didn't realize that this is the preset and this is like the category. Yeah, only worry about these two things for this specific plugin. Say I like this sound. Let's go right click, and then this is this at the top called piano roll. Click this. So first off, you're probably like, what the fuck is this? And also like beforehand you probably tried to do like this, like that. It's literally just gonna play one note and you're gonna be like, why the fuck does it work? So you're gonna go to your piano roll. You can also open it up, back up, like by doing that. It's up top here. I prefer doing this most of the time, like when you just put a new sound in there. You can also use this for anything you want. Like basically, to like simplify what this is, if you don't already kind of get like what it is, the piano roll is basically just the melodic version of the drum sequencer, and it's like, it's basically the same thing, but you draw notes. So yeah, I have this on, but like when you get in here, you're gonna be like fucking around, and like you're gonna be like, why does my shit sound terrible? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And you're gonna get frustrated. That's like usually what happens when you start fucking around with melodies and shit. Well, pro tip, tap this little music note at the top, right click it, and what you're gonna do is click on, first left click it actually, to get it to turn green, and then left click it or right click it, sorry, and pick whatever scale you want. But this is a new feature, by the way. Like if you're using FL12 or FL20 and before, I believe they didn't have this, but this is like super helpful for any beginners. I still use this a lot. I'd be lying if I didn't say like I almost always have this on. And don't let this like confuse you at all. Literally just pick any scale. It really doesn't matter until you like what it is. So you'll pick a scale, and then you'll see these lines turn, they change, and at first you're gonna be like, wow, what are these lines even for? So that's basically just the scale that you put it in, and it'll aimbot to the scale, and it makes it super fucking easy. So easy. Like I wish this was around when I first started making beats, because it makes everything so much easier. Now you're placing notes and they're actually in key with each other, which this doesn't sound good at all, but they're in key. You still gotta have a good enough ear to like have the notes like make sense and all that, but that just comes with like practice. But yeah, for basic purposes, the pencil tool just kind of like, you know, place a note, you can stretch it out and do whatever you want with it, move it around and move this up and down. Paintbrush will make it easy so you can make a bunch of notes. The paintbrush plus it paints in drum sequencer mode, so it'll make these little things, but in a paintbrush, which I use a lot for different reasons. So yeah, it sounds pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. But there you go, there's your melody. Now I'm gonna actually, I would like you to actually try a little bit and not just be me and like fuck around. But yeah. There you go. It's also in song mode, so everything's playing together. So there you go. Now you have drums, a melody, and a little crash at the beginning. Sounds pretty cool. And yeah, that's very basic. Now, next thing you're gonna want to do is, this is another like really big thing that you're gonna be using. So open up your channel rack, and this says view mixer. This is your mixer. Open up these two things, and this looks very complicated as well. So if you have ever seen like in a studio, I don't want to explain shit to like, I'm not, don't take any offense to this. I'm not trying to like make my whoever's watching this seem like a dumbass or whatever, but like if you ever been to or just like seen a music studio and you see a person with this big ass like board with all these like knobs and switches and stuff that like go up and down, that's basically like simulating what this is, and it's a digital mixer. So what this does is these ones in the template are already on their own tracks. So 1 through 4, I usually just kind of like to keep like those there, just makes it easier so I don't have like nothing. But it also like having, yeah, whatever. So these numbers right here pertain to each mixer track that you have. So these 4 things are already on these mixer tracks. So when I add a new sound, what I actually recently have been starting to do is right click on this box and assign to a free mixer track, and it'll automatically put its name there, and then you'll automatically have it linked to that mixer track. So now what this does is you can start to put effects on this, and you're definitely not gonna have a menu like as big as this, but it's gonna be pretty sizable. Like FL Studio comes with pretty decent amount of things. The most important one that you're going to be using a lot on like literally everything is the free parametric EQ2 or EQ1, and it's just an equalizer. I don't want to get like too specific or anything, but an equalizer is basically just, you can change the different frequencies of your sound. See? Move these around. Do whatever you want with them. There's even presets on here. What the fuck did I just do? Didn't mean to do that whatsoever. Yeah, I'm just trying to like show an example. Whatever. Next thing you can do is like, it's actually, I want to move to the GMS, and I'm just gonna put it in pattern mode for this melody. My fucking god awful melody. You can, another one is like delay. I just want y'all to like play around with this shit. Like this is like basic shit, like very basic. A delay is basically just an echo. You can increase and decrease that, and it'll do a little echo thing. And yeah, I'm not gonna get too in-depth on effects and shit, but those are pretty like basic things. Also like reverb and chorus, and if you play guitar, you probably already know what all this shit is. So like, there you go, you get like a head start if you play guitar or whatever, if you're just into other types of music in general. So yeah, honestly, I think that's probably as basic as I can try and get it. Like, I don't know how more, if like that is still could be considered like a little complicated to some people, but that's like as easy as I'm trying to explain it. I've been recording for like fucking an hour just trying to figure out like how to explain this to the easiest degree. I'll definitely release more tutorials in the future. Kind of want to do one that's like a little further in depth and actually includes like something like decent. But yeah, you're gonna feel like super accomplished when you just start playing around with stuff, and like honestly just do a little adventure, dude. Like, this shit is basically a game. It's a game, like a musical game. Just try stuff out, fuck around, and like, you know, if you don't like it, who cares? You learn something new. You honestly, like, the more time you spend with this, the more things you're gonna learn. So you probably felt like an absolute G just doing this alone, which I did as well. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. If y'all want to give me some criticism on some things that I can do better at explaining, or if you want a more in-depth tutorial of like specific things, please let me know. Yeah, that's all I'm really gonna say. I'll see you in the next video. Adios, y'all.